and the director of the Austin Comedy Film Festival. We've got the Austin Comedy Film Festival coming up in November, early November, and we're going to be featuring all kinds of comedy films, from music videos to comedy series episodes to short films, dark comedy, horror comedy, you name it. And we have a comedy series episode called We Make Great Pets, which has been nominated for the Best Editing Award. And we're joined by director Ryan Churchill. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, how's it going, Michael?
Good to see you, and congrats on your award nomination.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot.
You know, the judges really enjoyed your film, and I do want to mention that you also are nominated for Best Comedy Series Episode at Portland Comedy Film Festival. Completely different group of judges, a little bit later on in the month in Portland, and just exciting times to get accepted to two, man. That's pretty big honor.
Yeah, no, like I said, I had mentioned to you in other conversations that, you know, it's there's been so many that I haven't even gotten into, and then to get nominated for both. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't know about the Portland nomination until just now, till you just told me. So I don't know if I spoiled somebody's surprise, but I absolutely love it. That's you know, for me and the goal with this project, both I'm honored to have just be accepted to both and to be nominated for awards for those two awards for both. Again, that's, you know, icing on the cake. So I appreciate that. And I thank you.
No worries. It's all public, my man. And, you know, each group of judges in each city sees things for different reasons. You know, the Austin judges were like, wow, this is really put together. I love the pacing. I love how this, you know, flow together, chemistry. And there's a lot of notes on that. Completely different in Portland, where it's like, wow, a series, I want to see more. It sets it up for a whole series. And that's all he kept talking about, series. So it's funny. There's some kind of a mental exercise in there. I don't know how it works, but there's some kind of mental exercise in there where, you know, different groups of humans just perceive different things. And I don't know if it's a geography thing. I don't know. But
yeah. It's very interesting. I've actually done a few just private invite only test screenings so that I like, as I'm putting this together, so I know who to, you know, kind of like sharpen my pitch for. And it's like, I had no idea that like who like there's a certain group of people that do not like it at all. Like, in fact, they despise it. And so I know in my pitch to be like, these people don't like it. So
yeah, you know, market research, right? Like,
yeah, that's awesome. So it actually, and I feel like the festival judges, that's my target market. So I'll be open and honest with you. It's people 65 and older that absolutely do not like this project, but that's okay. That was never my intent. You know, I didn't make it for them, so that makes sense. But anyways,
there you go.
Way, it's good to know.
Good research anyway, you know. And I remember, you know, when we opened up, this was many years ago in Austin, we opened up a dark comedy category, and all these dark comedy films just flooded in. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I didn't realize so much dark comedy, you know, existed in the world. Like, where are all these films coming from? And I'm sitting there watching the festival, and I had 9 films in a row where the lead character just gets killed at the end of the and I'm thinking to myself, what does that say about us, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm looking through the surveys from the filmmakers, because I sent out a survey monkey thing, and it was like, hey, you know, why did you submit to Austin Comedy Film Festival? Some guy from England writes back, and he says, I saw your lineup. You'll screen anything, mate. I don't even know if that's a compliment to this day.
Yeah.
But you know, eye of the beholder. And I think that there's a lot of people, especially in comedy, that are looking for their audience. And sometimes it's hard to find in a general audience film festival, which is why we have these, you know, 4 comedy specific film festivals in our network that all cover completely different cities. So you can get kind of an idea. You know, we have the Georgia Comedy Film Festival in Atlanta that is open, in Houston Comedy. So you know, you've already, you know, knocked it out of the park in 2 of them. So very, very good job.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, let's get into your film, and you know, I should say series episode. I don't want to give away the whole point of the film. We'll let you put the synopsis in your own words. Go for it.
Yeah. It's, and now you tricked me. I'm like, how do I tell them the log line without giving it away? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's It's about a homeless veteran with PTSD living on the street, which is very common. I'm in Los Angeles. That happens here a lot. And he's taken in by a kind of a biotech, human biotech company as almost as research, and his brain is melded with that of a dog so that he is less capable of getting addicted to drugs and dealing with stress in a different way. So it's a high concept to say the least, but it lends to good comedy, which I can we can get into later. But it also, I feel like it's always a good. I try to have a good theme. I try to put down in all my films and all my projects a dramatic question in the film that everybody can kind of relate to, and something that's
Mm.
important, so we can have yes, it's a comedy, and yes, it sounds crazy that we're making humans into part dog, but hopefully your disbelief is suspended enough to see that there's an honest, heartfelt story in there. So yeah, that's the gist of the story.
Sometimes we can tackle serious issues, through comedy. And it seemed to me like maybe there was some kind of a personal connection or something you were thinking about when you were writing this. Is there any specific motivations or inspirations for writing this specific film?
Yeah, definitely. So I have an uncle who's in Vietnam, and he was wounded in Vietnam. I have two close high school friends that both were in the Iraq War, and they both were wounded in action. And then, unfortunately, on the 4th of July, as I was doing this project, and I apologize if this is hard for me to say, but I had a friend. It wasn't a close friend, but an acquaintance, somebody I saw every day, take his own life, unfortunately, after
Oh
he
no.
had been in Afghanistan, and he just succumbed to the PTSD. Got to be too much for him. So on
Mm,
many levels, that it's very personal, and I've always had a soft spot in my heart for as many of us do. I'm not unique in the fact that we all you know admire our veterans that have served, and just veterans in general. So
mm,
that, on the serious side of things, is where the inspiration came from. I've always wanted to do some sort of project having to deal with military veterans. I like war TV shows and movies just like many of us do, but I wanted to figure out a way to do one in my way with my
mm.
I have a weird sense of humor sometimes. I have a very somewhat, I'll call it, a British sense of humor, if you will. And so the second aspect of it, of like turning humans into dogs, that's from I was part of a sketch comedy company, a main company here in LA. And a long time ago, a co-writer of mine and we did a sketch where we both were boyfriends of these two girls that brought us to the boyfriend park, and we basically acted like dogs. And there's many parallels you could form in your mind from there. Like, all men are dogs. Yes, we are, actually. um so on the lighter side of things, that's where that inspiration came from. It was from an old sketch that really did well. We did that one in a couple different reviews, and it hit every time.
Mm.
So those are the two places of inspiration. So yeah.
What an incredible fusion of concepts. And it turned out good. It turned out fun, and like I said, it got people thinking a little bit, about PTSD and the issue. And my father's a veteran, and so many people are affected by these things. And at the same time, you're able to come out of this with some laughter energy out of it. And so kudos to you. It's very unique. There's definitely nothing like it in our festivals,
Thank
either
you.
of them. Yeah, so good job. um Moving on to just on the technical aspect of when going through this film, did you learn anything? Were there any road bumps, anything that you're gonna, I believe like every film is a little piece of film school. Is there anything you're gonna take on to your next production that you maybe learned during this production?
Yeah, both good and bad. The good was, I started this so day one of the call sheet, it was just me. I did everything. I did the camera, I did sound. We were in the middle of the pandemic, and
Mm,
like many actors, we were sitting here. I'm an actor and a writer. That's just
mm,
what I do. And then it's like, I got to do something. These things are bugging me. So this project had kind of been sitting on the shelf. So I just pulled it out, and I was like, I think I can shoot this all by myself. And so I did a lot of the stuff that's just me. Uh, Technically, I was just just a camera with a good, or a DSLR with a good lens on a tripod and good sound. I did learn you really, really have to pay attention to sound, because I had to go back and loop more than I wanted to. So on a negative aspect, technically, I was a little overconfident with my sound recording techniques, but and then boy, what else? Technically, everything else was okay. I would just say, yeah, the sound thing and time management, I was way off. I'd say, oh, I think we have a 4-hour day today. Let's just quick knock these things out. And then, 6.5 hours later, we're only a quarter way through it. So just time management of what it's going to take to get these shots. Even though my shot list, when I made it, I tried to make it as simple as possible. Just a master, pop in, single. That's what I tried to do. But on the day when you get on set,
Yeah.
you get new ideas and like, oh, this will be cool. And then the next thing you know, you're 6 hours behind. So yeah.
Yeah, you got to have coverage, man. You get in editing and start screaming at yourself, for not having coverage. But I tell you what, it sounds like you did the one man warrior thing. You came out. I didn't realize that not only was this, PTSD, some inspirations there, but this was also in the middle of COVID. I didn't know that part, and so kudos to you for coming out with comedy. For coming out with laughs out of these times. I mean, there was so much uncertainty in the whole world at that time. Good job with that. So, what are you working on in the future?
In the film, man, what am I now working on in the future? So this is one of, I have another feature film script, kind of the same thing, based around the Fukushima disaster and subsequent nuclear meltdown. Again, it's a comedy, believe it or not, based on a true story. It's got a Portland connection, so hey, Portland, if you wanna, yeah, it's based on a true story of a good friend of mine that ended up on a team of scientists trying to find where the actual radiation was actually going after the Daiichi nuclear plant meltdown. But he was like, if you know this guy, you'd be like, you're on a team of scientists? That's weird. So that's where the comedy comes into play. It's fish out of water story. So I'm working on that feature, and I continue to. I'm a stand-up comedian, so still working on that's a whole separate hustle as well. And I have several different pitches at different stages. Some are just log lines and pitches, and some are full scripts that I'm waiting to shoot. As far as series is like I like to do this, what I did with We Make Great Pets first series, because I'm not a well-known writer and I'm not a showrunner yet, so it helps to have that's what I'm using We Make Great Pets for, is a next step to help me get it sold, to a network or streamer. So that's pretty much where I'm at with future stuff.
Interesting. What about the future of this series in particular? Have you written another episode?
I have. It's so funny. I get differentiating advice, like I have a lot of really successful writers, and they're like, don't write the pilot till they pay. Don't write another episode till they pay you. And I'm like, but I have the thoughts in my head. So I do have a second episode, and I have the full pitch deck, including like an 8-episode outline in the Bible. So I have it all kind of here. It's ready to go. I'd like to work with an experienced writer and showrunner to just kind of help me meander like where a season should go, because that's a tough feat to just know like where this series could and should go, so we don't paint ourselves into a corner. So the long answer to your question is yes, just not physically an actual. It's half of a script, and then the rest of it is in the Bible and the pitch deck.
Gotcha. You got a lot going, man. You got the Bible, the pitch deck, the Fukushima comedy. I mean, my goodness, you've got a lot going on. It all sounds funny, to be honest. I mean, I'm into it. It all sounds like really good concepts.
Well, thank you. I just wish you were the head of the studio or the network.
We're working on things. People come to me. Some guy emailed me the other day and was like, yeah, my screenplay is a finalist at your festival. Is there any way you could give me Robert Rodriguez's phone number? So
hey, give it He threw caution to the wind. He's like, give it a
I'm
try.
like, maybe your agent should reach out to his agent.
Yeah, that's better.
I think that's, not sure how that came about. But anyway, I guess people think I'm more resourceful than I am. But we're always looking for tools to help people get things out. Our mission has been, to show as many funny films in one day as we possibly can. But I also want to help filmmakers take that next step. So I'm hoping that these awards and these accolades, anything we can do to help. If you do get greenlit for a series or you start on episode 2 or something, email me. Let's get you on and let's talk about it. If you're ever crowdfunding, you're an alum. I'll help you any way I can. All right.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. Was there anything else you want to talk about before we go?
No, nothing. I really other than to say thank you to the judges and everybody at the judges at Portland and Austin. I appreciate it. I thank you. Like I said, it's so hard. There's a lot of us making stuff nowadays, and I appreciate getting selected and the nomination for the awards is just icing on the cake. So I appreciate that.
No worries. Very kind words, and we're proud to screen your work. So keep on doing what you're doing. Keep getting your stuff out to festivals, whether it's ours or not. I mean, just good luck, and we wish you nothing but success. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you.